Do you get bored and lonely recording a podcast by yourself sometimes? The answer might surprise you. It's yes. And so, that is why today, on 10 Minutes with Nick, it's actually not 10 Minutes with Nick. It's 10 Minutes with Ashley. Ashley, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Ashley and I had been talking about this for a while.
Yes.
We were going to we had a bunch of topics that we wanted to talk about, all of them relatively funny, most of them embarrassing for her. So we decided to just pull the trigger, pick a time, and actually have the darn conversation.
Yes.
And I'm super excited because this gives me a chance to relentlessly mock Ashley for her dating choices. Yes. So it's going to be a winding conversation. It's not going to be 10 minutes. It's going to be a bit longer. I'll probably cut it into a couple of episodes because I'm lazy. Why would I record multiple episodes when I can record one? So, Ashley,
Yes.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's just dive right in.
Let's do it.
So modern dating's a damn thing. And
yeah,
my dear friend here, Ashley, in particular, has interesting stories. Some by her own choice, which I will dig into a little bit, and some just because men are out of pocket these days.
For real, yeah.
Like for real. Men are out of pocket these days, and a lot of it, I think, and I'll turn it over to you, Ashley, for this. I think it has to do with dating apps.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I can't stand it. I never, it's so funny because before I ever decided to even think about downloading a dating app, I told myself I would absolutely never do that. I was like, I am never going to be on a dating app. I don't want to meet people that way. Like, it's not at all anything that I wanted to do. And then after being single for it was probably like a year, maybe 2 years, I think. And I was like, why do people not talk to you or like approach you in person ever? And in general, like whether it has to do with the dating world or just like giving somebody a compliment, whatever. I just like nobody's brave anymore. And it bothers me so much, but that is where I was like, all right, I'll try the dating app. So I downloaded a couple. It was mostly Hinge that I was having a couple of dates here and there from. And I just don't like it. I think so much of it is honestly too that people can ghost so easily. They don't have to have difficult conversations. They don't have to do anything that's like taking into consideration the fact that you are talking to another person.
Well, and let's be clear as well. Like dating apps have sort of muddied the water of what is and is not dating anymore.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Like when we get on these dating apps, and granted, they can sometimes be successful, but now we have, which we didn't have when I was in like high school or college, we have like situationships, we have the talking stage, we have the we're not putting labels on it stage yet. That's always been a thing.
I absolutely detest the way that our generation has turned hookup culture into like a thing that has a label now, because in general, from a very young age, I don't know why, but I've never been a person that has ever wanted to be casually involved with someone, especially in that way. Because whenever I hear about the situationship thing, it's always like there's some element of this that's like a physical relationship more often than not. And I hate that. I think it's just a really easy cop out way to try and get people to just jump into that.
And what you're kind of touching on is like it's sort of the meat market idea, the cheapening idea of, you know, dating is just kind of like, you just do it, it's whatever, maybe it's a thing,
nobody takes it seriously. Nobody takes it as like, because when I think of dating, I think I'm like, yeah, I'm going on a date to get to know you, to see if there's any kind of connection, and then if I want to go forward with that, just literally just getting to know a person. After that is when it becomes like, do you want to continue this as a relationship, I'm a firm person of believing that like I enjoy meeting people for the sake of like making friends as well. So like that's never been something that's been an issue for me. But I think the second there's been a couple instances where things might happen with somebody unintentionally and I'm like, "Oh, I didn't like that's not where I thought this was going." And then I'm like, "Hey, I'm not I'm not trying to be involved in anything." But then they immediately think of that as, "Oh, she just wants to hook up." And I'm like, "That's not what I said. No, no."
Now, granted, Miss Fisher, we're going to just note for the viewer at home that for those of you who don't know, the internet is full of this thing called the ick. And Miss Fisher has a couple of things that fall under that category that she categorically will not stand by. She will not tolerate such nonsense in the dating world. And you, the viewer at home, might say to yourself, "Oh, it's good to have those standards and things like that." But no, gentle viewer, nay, gentle viewer, these are not things that we may think to ourselves, "Oh, that's just yeah, no, that's just a good rule to have." No, these are like men under 5'10" have a shitty personality.
Okay, in my defense, I have valid reasons for this, okay? It's not that I am against a guy being 5'8". It's not that I have a problem with it. It's
The
more so
careful way she's
I'm
constructing this
trying so
argument on the fly
hard.
tells you, gentle viewer,
Okay,
how hard it is to
hold on,
defend this
hold on.
position.
To be
Continue.
fair, okay, I'm gonna use my very first relationship as an example because it's hysterical when I think about it, but I'm the kind of girl that when I get the chance to dress up and go out somewhere, like, I wanna fully take advantage of that. I go all out. So if I ever have the chance to be in heels or whatever, all I'm asking is that you be taller than me in heels. That's literally it, okay? I know that that sounds very specific and a little silly.
And how tall are you?
I'm 5'5", okay? It's not that dramatic.
How big are heels that you're wearing?
This conversation just came up so many times. I
I
okay.
wanted it on record.
I know you did. I know that's exactly why you asked this question. I in my prom photos from my senior year of high school, I can physically see the way that I am trying to bend my knee and like lean back so that my then boyfriend looked like he could be taller than me. And I'm not saying that the girl can't be taller than the guy. I just prefer I don't want to say it's an ick because I think a lot of people are like, "Oh, the ick," meaning like I will literally never go near you. I think that's dramatic. That's not
This is a softening of the
no,
position
it's
from what
really
I've heard before,
it's
Miss
just
Fisher.
it's okay. It's a preference. And if I'm going to be really, really picky about it, then like if I was going to build my quote unquote perfect guy, which by the way, I know that I don't ever actually expect perfection from someone. I That's not realistic. I know this, but I love the idea of a guy being taller than me, whether I'm in like flat shoes or in heels. I've had so many people even recently where they're like, "How tall are you?" And I'm like, "I'm 5'5". And they're like, "I swore you were at least 5'7". And I'm like, "No, I don't know. I give off tall. I don't know." It's weird. But that's just a thing for me. I'm not saying anything negatively. I've been out with guys that are shorter and I didn't have like it wasn't necessarily a problem because also I'm not going to go out with you if I'm not initially attracted to you. And I'm not even saying that to be mean, but, like, a guy wouldn't go out with a girl that he didn't consider attractive.
Correct.
So, like
No, and so that's not the argument I'm making. The argument more I'm
went
making
down a
is
rabbit
simply
hole.
the argument more I'm making is simply that someone once said, "Would you date a guy who's 5'8"? And you said, "I only date tall guys," and then all of a sudden I chimed in with, How tall are you, Miss Fisher? How tall are you?"
Okay, but we also discussed this because I have been out with a guy if he ever sees this, I hope he knows that I genuinely enjoyed our dates, and I was actually really sad when things ended, but, he was an inch taller than me.
So to be clear, gentlemen, short kings of the world, you can, with a sterling personality, overcome your vertical deficiencies. But
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.